Hello world and hello friends, welcome back to another episode of Minecraft. I am still figuring out what I want to do for this episode, but I do know there's one big problem right behind me that I have been wanting to fix for quite a while, and I finally figured out how. That problem is this void that is left behind from the pumpkin and melon farm. I originally was thinking that I would keep making more of them to fill up this area, but in all honesty, these produce way more than I will ever need, so I don't need more than just these two. What I mean by that is that these are my chests, and just by these just being in proximity of the spawn chunks, they have practically filled up all the way with pumpkins and a little bit less with melons. Not entirely sure how that works, but I'm going with it. So if I do move the farms from down here to up at the top, there could be a little bit more room for storage. In addition to that, instead of having such a big empty area there, I can make the ground floor of this be room where I can put the rest of my villagers who have still just been living here in this corridor. I don't really remember how much of this I showed you, but I think I showed these guys being here and they haven't left the area because I haven't figured out what to do with them. So if I take these guys and I'm putting them in the void that is left from moving the farms over here, I can make myself more room for more villagers and also be able to trade these melons and pumpkins to more of the farmer villagers. And yes, also, that chest in the ground still has my crafter inside of it. Why haven't I moved it? I I don't know. There's just hasn't been a good place for it. So let's take this mess of a void area and move it above. Alright, as I seem to always do, I put my head down and I forget to stop and record for a little bit. So I even completely redid this corridor. I'm probably going to put something right behind me, but in this area here, now there is so much space because I moved the farms way up there behind me. Currently, I'm still working on the roof and the design of everything, but this is kind of the general layout. I do have glowstone beneath it just to light up the area. And yeah, experimenting with what looks best, what I kind of feel good about. And I'm probably going to take up this whole area, maybe. Maybe add a few more for villagers, or maybe, you know, I'm still thinking. Yeah, this just goes to show how much space there is in my facade of a town hall, and I can still fit farms in all of these areas if I choose to do so. Up there is, of course, the pumpkin and melon, and now I have a whole bunch of storage and a whole bunch of backup storage. The visible chests are pretty much the same amount as before, but now there's just a whole lot more of backlog that should be able to contain these guys at least until I start regularly doing some farmer villagers to help sell the pumpkins and melons. This has gotten me thinking of what other farms I can cram into here, like I said, but I might not do that because there's probably other places to do it. I'm going to keep chipping away at this and see what I come up with. I will say though, later in this episode, I do plan to make a witch farm. Let's hope I can get to that. Alright, I have finished the new room, so let's take a look at the full experience. Starting from the entryway, I have redone the back of that wall just to make it make more sense with everything behind it. I feel like I need to improve that, but other than that, nothing changed here. Over this way, I have my crafter chest. Still haven't found a spot for it. But over here, all of the villagers have moved, except for this guy. I will probably put him with wherever I put the maps, just because it seems like that would fit. Regardless, once again, nothing has changed, but I do have a new door here. I also added an emerald block there, because now I have the space too. Through this room is what actually looks more like a traditional trading hall. And honestly, I'm okay with that. It feels weird though. It honestly feels like I've just been transported into an entirely new area. And yeah, there's more space for villagers if I do need them. This is more of a, hey, I have space, I have villagers. If I need to make more villagers, I will fill out the space even more. And yeah, as you saw from up above, there's a few weird spots. This area, like, I couldn't really fit a villager in for the pattern I have, and I couldn't really extend the wall with the pattern I had for the wall. Same thing as some of the corners, like that corner's a little awkward, this corner's a little awkward. But overall, I did a pretty good job. I'm very happy with it. I mean, the center spot also might need some improvements. But yeah, for doing this in one day with not much planning, I took a look at a few pictures and just ran with it. Oh, I'm not happy. Okay, now I'm happy that's fixed. But yeah, the the center area might need some improvements, and I might make changes here and there as time goes on. But for having moved the farms up above and now open up the space for more villagers, that that has made me really happy. And it has given me space that I really didn't think about me having before. And honestly, I don't know if I ever showed this, but I tried for a little bit of a fog effect. Part of the reason I went to connected textures, but I don't think with the distance it worked out well. But I still do like the vibe of walking in here and it kind of just seeming like it's an endless ceiling above you. Like you get transported somewhere else that is not where you are currently. And I think kind of in each of these rooms, it kind of feels that way. It's its own unique area, some less than others. So I think I might try to continue that. Like, especially this one. This is a whole new area you're in, and going into this area is a brand new area. I kind of like that. I didn't plan it to be that way, but I'm very happy with it. Needless to say, I got not much more time left in this week. I've had a pretty busy week, but I think I'm going to go ahead and build that witch farm. Alright everybody, the witch farm is completed, and I've started to make a circle, kind of thinking where my lighthouse is going to be, or at least like what size it's going to be. And there's something weird happening. Might be able to hear down below, but I've turned the volume down once, might have to do it again. For some reason, these minecarts have decided to be rather crazy, so let me turn them off all the way. There we go. Now they're quiet. But yeah, I've been AFK for about... Wow. That's a lot of redstone. I didn't think it worked like that. I am very confused. Alright, well, I just did some research, and as it turns out, as of 1.21, witches now always are guaranteed to drop 4 to 8 redstone. I double checked the math of it all, and it makes it about 20 times more. So really, the only anomaly here is the amount of spider eyes I have, because all of these are supposed to be about the same. That's about double of those, and this is about 20 times more. When it gets to reality, I'll have a screen up on from the wiki of what the numbers come out to, and honestly, pretty close. So everything is working as expected. I just didn't expect that it was that. I missed that part in how it changed, and I guess I now have a lot of redstone. Way more than I need. A lot more than I need. So I guess I have no excuse not to use redstone in a lot of stuff. Regardless, I think now that even more, I am probably going to want to move the creeper farm to be elsewhere and have a slightly more industrial district type thing happening offshore in another direction where I'm not going to see it constantly. It looks very weird having all of the trees gone, and I mean, that is kind of the look I'm going for. Ooh, it's working. But yeah, I do want to make this be some sort of delta. Might have a larger island in the middle just to be around the lighthouse, because that would make sense. but kind of following along the lines that are already naturally formed here, making this be a river delta, and probably making some sort of dock over there, which means I'm going to have to remove all of that, which is going to be quite a lot. Oh, and this farm is not my own design. I followed a tutorial by Shulkercraft, and the video I followed will be linked down below in the comments. Of course, I used cobblestone because I have so much cobblestone. But yeah, I think I'm going to work just a little bit more figuring out what exactly I'm going to do, what I want this area to look like. I've flattened out bits and pieces of stuff just to have a better idea, but I still got work to do, and hopefully next you'll... Oh, that was weird. Hopefully next you will be seeing the time-lapse of me creating this lighthouse. Well, I had a few intermediate steps to take before I went and created my lighthouse. If I can land. Good enough. The first was to actually figure out what kind of platform the lighthouse would be on. Would it just be in the water or would it be on a rock? And I decided to put it on a rock. Now, yeah, it's more of layering than texturing there, and I'll get to that later. I just wanted to see kind of shape and also be able to visually distinguish what layers were what, because, yeah, I haven't made rocks, and honestly, I still might adjust that layer just a little bit. But regardless of that, let's take a little fly around here. I'm pretty happy with the shape we got and with the size of the foundation. So I think that with all of this being said and done, I am going to be fully ready to actually build the lighthouse around this thing. This is not going to be enough concrete. I am going to need to make more than 4 stacks. But let's get to it. Full transparency, I wasn't trying to have this build be perfect. I wasn't even trying to have this build be decent. I was just trying to get this to be passable. As you'll probably see, this is coming out on Tuesday, and I've been trying to keep to a schedule of every Monday. So I was hoping just to build this, have it be passable, and work on some details my next episode. That was a terrible idea. I really don't like this. I'm not sure why. I don't know if it's the lack of details, but I also came in with the mindset that I was going to add more details as time went on. But this just doesn't look right. So I'm going to try and fix that. And I don't know if that means that I'm going to tear it down and rebuild it completely, or if I'm just going to adjust heights of things. But I have a feeling that I'm going to be replacing just about every single block here. So yeah, there goes my first time lapse. That has led to nothing. But hey, I want to be transparent here. I don't want to try to hide much from you guys. So that's where I am. I think I'm still gonna save a schematic of this using Litematica, just in case I have regrets and want to go back, or if you in the comments say, hey, no, this looks great, you're just silly. Because hey, maybe you guys know better than I do. And maybe, even after I redo this, you'll still have better ideas. Put them below. I'll read them. And you know, maybe I'll make the adjustments based on what you guys say. But let's pop the music back in and let's see if I can make this just a little bit better. Well, I have to say this looks so much better than it did before. And yeah, I did the top before the time lapse started, and then I am still fiddling with the bottom of it. But I am much happier with how this looks. But yes, I know there is still some room for improvement, and that will come as time goes on. One other thing I've done is, still also needs some work on, but inside here, I've actually added a sorting system for all the items. Actually, just saw a witch disappear there. But yeah, over here, first one is of course all the redstone, which gets compacted into redstone blocks because just of the sheer amount of it. And then all the other materials that get dropped here, and just in case something gets dropped in there. This is the type of stuff that I can be a lot more confident in creating now that I have the amount of redstone. I have been using the villagers to get redstone, but just the sheer amount from this really helps. So I think with all this being said, I'm gonna end the episode here. I am already late a day with this episode, but honestly, that's just an expectation on myself, and it's fine to miss a day or two. But really, I still have a lot of work to do on this, and this may come next week, this may come the week after, or somewhere down the line. Come on, I still haven't decorated my facade of a townhouse way in the distance back there, and it's been here for quite a while. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Don't forget to leave a comment if you want to give me any advice, any critiques. I will gladly accept them. Leave a like if you did like the video, and subscribe to see more. Until the next time, be good to yourself, be good to each other, and be good to the world. This has been Radio, signing off.